Hello, everybody. What's going on? How's everyone doing? Oh. What's up, Oshik? Made a prototype for a silly game idea? Oh, yeah? What's that? So what's up, Bobby? How good am I at rhythm games? I'm not that good at them. I just don't play them enough to get good at them, you know? That's the problem. But, yeah, I don't know. Why? So you want to eat my starting sin screen? It does look kind of yummy, doesn't it? Reminds me of like ice cream or something. Oh, it's on itch. Okay. Yeah, we could check it out. Let me load it up. Yo. Ah, shoot. I didn't have the overlay open. It's okay. Do not fret. I'll redeem it again for you. I always forget to open it. I just need to export it as an actual, like, thing I can have in my taskbar instead of still in the engine. I think that's part of the problem. But before I do that, I want to work on it more, though, you know? Okay, we should be good to go now. Let's do this again. There we go. Yeah, sorry about that. Let's see. Looking for your account, Oshik. Oh, there it is. Is it going deep? Yeah, I'll download that. Try it out real quick. I said I tried Game Years a while ago, but I didn't. I don't remember which game that was. It was, I mean, it was probably just because I was like busy working on update stuff, but I can take a look at it if you want. As long as it's not like a big game, right? That's the thing, is like I don't want to spend an hour playing games on stream. So, you know, I'm always like down to check out a little demo and a prototype kind of thing, but you know, when it comes to a full big game, sometimes it gets a little, I don't want the whole stream to be gaming. But yeah, you can send me the link again if you want. I can try and take a look at it. And she got Shadow Man? I think you're good. All right, let's check this out really quick. Going deep. Guys, I think I just installed malware. Oh, there we go. Play. Whoa. Yeah, this is epic. Yeah, terrain generation. That's pretty sick. Nice. This could be really cool. So you're underwater, right? Or is just, oh, fear the dark. A driller. Oh, you're like in the caves. Okay. Wonder where he got it from. Yeah. It's been in the works for a while, yeah. I mean, I always check stuff off a stream too, so I probably played it. I would remember right away. What was the name of it? Was it your slime game? Because I did definitely play that one. Yeah, it's sick. Just a little tech demo thing, you know, with terrain gen, which is epic. I like it. It's like, I like the grittiness of it. Like how it's a grid. I don't know what it reminds me of. Like almost like Tetris. I don't know. It's kind of cool though. I like that style, right? Of like being able to see each block. Oh, there is something to do in the game? Can I get a hint? Am I supposed to like find something? Okay. But I'll know when I find it, right? Yeah, add some enemies, upgrades and stuff. It could be cool. You'll know, okay. Reminds me of Ministry. That's probably what it is, what I'm thinking of, yeah. It's cool though, I like it. Yeah, this is actually really solid base. I mean, I'm already running through a million things in my head that you could do, you know? It could be basically like a survival horror type of thing, right? Where it's like, there's like creatures down here. And you've got to survive them, you know? That's totally one route you could go. And like, maybe you have like a weapon or something that you like upgrade and stuff. And like, I don't know, you know? Almost reminds me a little bit of, what's the word? I'm blanking, I just lost it. That's a bright moment. Oh, Dome Keeper, how you like go deeper down into the caves and there's like resources and stuff down there. And you have to like find the artifacts down in the mines. It's kind of a little bit like that. Lethal Company initial idea? Oh yeah. Or you mean that was the initial idea for Lethal Company? Or you mean like that was your initial idea for this? Kind of like a Lethal Company type of thing. Sure, it could be cool. Also, were you wanting to... You said you wanted to make this multiplayer, right? Up. Oh. Wait. No, this is the starting place. I should go up? Oh, I'm not seeing anything. I don't know where the thing is I'm looking for is. It's not the spawn. Oh, there it is. I got it. But now I have to find my way back. Which could be difficult. We'll try. Can I drop it again? No. Man, it's so slow. So this is like the power cell thing or whatever in Lethal Company, right? Like slows you down. I don't know where spawn is now. I think I'm lost. Thought it was somewhere around here, but guess not. Man, I'm never gonna find this place. There's no secret cheats, are there? Oh my god, I'm all the way at the bottom left. Actually, you know what we can do is this. Let's just go to the very bottom corner. I presume this is a square. So I'll just go to the very bottom left corner and then go up at a diagonal, and then I know that I'm gonna eventually hit the center. Yeah, I'm a super genius, guys. Okay, epic. It's one method. Hey Matt, what's up? This is not my game actually. This is Oshik's game. So we're just trying it out really quick on stream before I jump into Starground stuff. But yeah, this is not my game. We'll be working on Starground in just a minute, but I'm just gonna go down and... Okay, so I'm just gonna go up a diagonal. Yeah, there are walls, and they probably will present an issue, but I feel like I can just kind of go around them and then continue my path, you know? I think it'll work out. See, like, there's that one, but then I'll just, like, go up for a minute. And then continue at the diagonal. I hope that works. We'll find spawn eventually, I sure hope. We'll see how close I was to the center line. Probably not that close. Shoot, brother. These little giblets. Oh, dude, we're almost spot on. Did I do it? I think I did it. Right on, I'm probably gonna grab dinner, leave out the stream, join back in the conversations when I get back. Awesome, sounds good. Do it up. Enter? Oh, yeah. Whoa. Is this like a new map now? I like that. You could totally do a Lethal Company thing too. That I read. You go deeper and deeper, right? Yeah. So you go down and down and down. I think nah, I didn't. I'm gonna be honest. What it said in the game. What did it say? Oh. I didn't realize it said where the cell is. So, yeah. It's just, it disappears so fast, I don't get much time, you know? Cell coords, 1039. So big X, small Y, so it'd be like down there. Yeah. Okay, well that's helpful. It'd be nice to know what coordinate I'm at, maybe, for that. Alright. Because not everybody's super familiar with, like, XY coordinates. But yeah, that's sick. I like it. I think there's a lot of potential with that. Give me 1 second. I gotta check the items. Okay. Yeah, bye, I already just played a bunch of gaming. I will play that, I promise you. I'll do it right after stream, but I don't want to spend too long not doing what I'm saying that I'm doing, because I don't want to have to change the category and stuff. It comes to points to spawn and tells, yeah, that would be nice. For sure, yeah. Yeah, I'd say definitely keep working on that. I think it could be a cool little game. You know, with multiplayer too, especially, that would be really fun. Difficult to implement, but you know, that's just how it goes. Fun though. We should deal with a Starground mod? Oh yeah. That's epic. There's always going to be time for Starground stuff later. So, obviously no rush with that. Okay, let's open up the project. So, I really need to get started on the ore processing and stuff, because that's kind of the one bottleneck right now of, like, getting things going. I'll think about it, Bobby. I need to get going on the development, but, you know, maybe we could squeeze it in toward the end or something like that. As long as I don't have to leave for dinner. We'll see with that. Okay, let's just let no save. So yeah, really what we need to work on now, well, we need to make the bubble stream better. So ore processing, in Tyria we have the different ores, right? We have uranium and cobalt. We need to add in machines to process those ores. For some reason that did not drop, unless I immediately picked it up. That might have been what happened. Yeah. Sorry, we have these ores, and then we need to process those into, like... Yeah, the bubbles do lag the game. We need to change that. It's just, it's a really stupid system right now. Because it's creating, like... Well, I think it's creating, like, 100 every single frame or whatever, every 0.5 seconds. So, obviously, that's not very efficient. I'll probably change them to a GPU 1, or... Yeah, it's creating 20. We really don't need that many bubbles. That's probably the big problem, but we can also swap these out maybe with GPU particles. See, that's still even maybe too many bubbles. I don't know. So TK, what's up? How far you gotten with the game? Yeah, it's going. I think things are going pretty well. Yeah. Just gotta keep working away at it. Yeah, the bubbles are still slow. I don't know, there's probably a different way that I could go about the bubbles. I think the laggy part is just the ready, which is emitting equals true. Can I just do autoplay on this? Well, let's change it, I guess. I hate to delete our particles, but let's change it into GPU particles to help a tiny bit with that. Then add a process material. So where's like the fixed FPS? I'm just gonna set to 0. Because I believe that's how you do it. Why are there bubbles anyways? It's because we're underwater. Yeah. Looks like some things got preserved. All that stuff did, but none of this stuff. But it's okay. So accelerations, gravity, I'll set to 0. What's underwater? What causes the bubbles? We could say it's like gases rising up through the sand from deep in the water or something. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't necessarily have to have a super realistic explanation. Or it could be like there's creatures under the sand, the tile monster, yeah, that are like disrupting the sand and moving things up, right? Okay, so initial velocity set to something pretty low. Direction is wrong. Set a little faster. Set faster than that. Let's set a maximum of 20. Let's set the minimum to 10. Okay, and set the spread lower to like 20 maybe. Just about to suggest creatures. Yeah, if I get time to today, maybe we could start working on that because I do actually really want to. I have ideas for that, and I think it could be really cool to have some living guys down here. I do want this zone to be partially dangerous, right? So maybe we could do that. We'll see. Oh, it's the Twitch overlay. I was like, all right. This should work. It probably won't be any faster if I'm being honest, but we'll see. So how do I enable autoplay? I need to figure that out. I know there's like a way to do it. I mean, I can't just set emitting to true. One shot, pre-process. I'm surprised that autoplay is just not a thing. If I just leave emitting on, but it turns itself off, so that doesn't work. I guess it's okay to have emitting true in the ready event. As long as it doesn't get too laggy, I mean, it would be okay. What are all these freaking errors, man? Oh, whoops. Okay. So yeah, the big thing today that's gonna suck, but is kind of necessary is adding in the purifier. It's hard because I want byproducts, which means we have to have 2 outputs, which means I have to completely break apart our code again for our recipe buildings, which really freaking sucks, man. Yeah, I don't know. Should we just add a power? Like, that's, yeah. Seems like these bubbles, dude, are like not... Like they play too... I swear sometimes they don't play how I expect. See, it seems like it's either full volume or just not. See, even that's probably like a lot. You know? We could do even fewer bubbles than that. Like, it's supposed to be a pretty chill effect, you know? Like, maybe 2 bubble streams, right? I just want it to be like a kind of subtle thing. I know sometimes he's like cut out. I don't know if I see it anymore, but... That one cut out. Oh, that one cut out. I don't know why it does that. Massive lag spike. Oh, it's just not finished. It's queue free. Must be the fact that it's a GPU particle now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, hard to say. But it seems like performance is fine with that now. I'll also just add another thing in here that only does spawn bubbles if you're actually in that region. Right. So if global.current region is equal to global.regions table.get Starground region Tyria. So yeah, that should be good. Do I have a thing that's like current region ID? I really should do that. Just make things a little easier, I think. I mean, I really should set that to... Let me find every time I mention current region. Most of the time I'm doing this or using current region, I'm just comparing an ID, right? Or I'm just checking like, is it this? Is it this, right? But I guess we could just have current region ID alongside that, which would be okay. So in set region, I'm just gonna say... Excuse me, that. Now in all these places where I do table get, I don't have to do that anymore. I just say, is region ID equal to that? So I think it's not going to be a major performance improvement or anything, but it'll just be ever so slightly better. And it just makes more sense. It's kind of stupid to have to, you know, compare. Let's get rid of this now. This is for what? The room? Yeah, we don't need that anymore. Not a Chris, what's up? How's it going? How's your game going? It's going good. Just working away at the new zone. Going through and optimizing a thing here really quick. But yeah. Dungeon region. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We're having an amazing day. Well, I appreciate it. I hope you are as well. Yeah, so what I can say in here, instead of checking that, I can just say that. And then same with here. Yeah. It's just a little bit better, I think. Okay. So yeah, I should only spawn in those bubbles when I'm actually in the zone now. Which is good. Because then it's not going to be this random performance overhead. Player game's going good. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean it's been good. I've been really busy, so sometimes it's been a smidge hard to find time, like a lot of time to work on it, but you know, I'm still putting in the stream time, so. But yeah. Yeah, my goal for today is to add the purifier building and get that inventory and stuff set up, so. I think, like, the plan for how I want that to work is, like, I just want old buildings to be able to support that, you know? Being able to have multiple outputs, right? Right now I just have one output, but I can change that pretty easily to be an array, so that it outputs multiple things. It definitely does complicate things, you know, I'm not gonna lie, but it's fine. Yeah, it's still getting all these errors in here. I don't know what's going on. It's properties find path. Oh, it's just this thing. The underwater warning business. So why does it throw that error though? Because it should be okay. Right. It's saying if not underwater warning. Right, like it's saying if it doesn't have one, then create a new warning. Add the child. I'll set that to true just in case that's the issue. Oh, I set the name. Water warning. Yeah, I don't know why that's throwing that error. What's the game about? It's kind of a combo of things. So, the first part of Starground, if my Windows would not die. Give me 1 minute here. You get an error? No. Okay, I'm just relaunching the game. First part is all about automation. So you can mine resources, build stuff, you know, make buildings, all that kind of stuff. And then the second part is dungeoning. So you can go into dungeons with weapons and fight enemies and get coins and loot and stuff. So yeah, sort of a mashup, a little bit of a combo. Does Half-Life 2 Gravity Gun sound like saying soup? It does. Yeah. It's funny how it does that. Okay. Still get the errors? I did. I really don't know why I'm getting those errors. Right, because it's just... if new warning exists, underwater warning, it should be okay. Maybe I just have to do this, like, deferred. Right? Maybe it just needs time to get set up. It's possible. Game I've been working on so far only has the player module and the map movement. Game actually looks really good. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. It is up on Steam right now in early access, so. But of course it's not ready yet. Still a lot of updates I need to do. We've got this update like December 9th and then just a whole bunch others after. Next update's probably going to be more of a chill update. It's going to be like a farming kind of economy update. So yeah. Did I get the errors? I did get them, but I got less. So it's just doing it on the add. Okay, I think I did fix it. Yeah, I think the reason why it was throwing an error with that one was just because it wasn't deferred, which is good. So this one, I'll just do the same deferred call on all these. So on that one, and then on that one. Pet Steam would probably try it, yeah. There is a demo up on itch, which you don't need Steam for. So, you know, that's always an option if you really wanted to. Why does it do this? I don't know if it's my taskbar. It is my taskbar. Okay. I gotta open up Task Manager and restart the taskbar. Gotta love it. I totally love how reliable and stable Windows is. Okay. Yes, gotta wait for it to load now. There we go. Can open the game again. Alright. So yeah, bubbles are working. It's just a little nice ambience thing. It's only 2 every half a second or something, so it should be pretty low overhead. But just to confirm, we can open up the profiler. I think the biggest overhead really still is just the resource spawning. Thought of ways that we can handle that, but I don't know. I'm not quite ready to integrate that idea. So yeah, I mean, there might be like a very tiny spike for when it adds it, but it shouldn't be too bad or anything. Spawn bubbles, I mean, there's a tiny spike, but it never is really that bad. It's always just create resources. Which I'm surprised about, like, how bad it is for only 2 of them. Right. Because it should be pretty basic. Yeah, I mean, it's not very complicated. I don't know. Just not good for performance. Could be that it's not preloaded, but that's probably not the issue. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just do it once, you know? Not even do it twice. Because it still is a lot of particles, honestly, when you look at it, right? Even with just one, it's still like, there's a bunch around. So I think 1 is probably okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fine. Alright, so yeah, I want to add the purifier so we can process uranium and cobalt. It's gonna be a whole process, though. That's why I've been putting it off for so long, I think. I really don't want to have to do it. But, man, at some point I've gotta, though, you know? So there's a bunch of stuff in here I'm gonna have to change. All these slot filters and everything, practically. It's gonna be a nightmare. Okay. The thing that's going to be the hardest part is not this building, but it's going to be the inventory display. That's what's going to be the nightmare, right? It's dynamically changing those slots around. Yeah, that's going to freaking suck. Let me take a look at the displays. It's gonna be display crafting. So this is how this one works, as the fuel slot, and then it has the, or no, that's the input slot. Oh wait, no, that's the fuel slot. So inputs will go there, and then outputs will go here. Now, the problem though is with this setup is if we have a bunch of outputs, it'll stack up and might look a little weird, so... I don't know. It's complicated. We could do a system where we have, like, inputs, progress bar, outputs. But I do like having the progress bar be like this, where it has, like, a bar here. So it's complicated. Yeah, and this is why I've just been putting it off for so long, because it's like, oh, it's gonna freaking suck. Ugh. I guess I'll just set fuel to slot 0. I mean, let's see how this handles it, right? So it's all gonna be inside of this script. So this is what is kind of setting up the inventory and stuff and changing it. Right. That's the category buttons and all that stuff, the recipe buttons. So that's what's scary, it's not in there, it's inside of here. This one that I never touch. Sliders in the UI. They're just progress bars. I just freaking hate messing with this script all the time because it causes issues when I do, you know? It's something I really don't have to touch. It's like, thank God, you know? This stuff is just setting up the filters and the placeholders, and that's like really easy, so... Disable slots I don't have to mess with. Update slots I don't have to mess with. You know, I don't have to mess with any of that stuff, which is very nice. The thing I do have to mess with, though, is the... It's one of these first functions. I think it's the resize slots function. Right, this is what kind of determines, like... See, there's the static slot count, and it, like, adds the extra slots onto it. Right. Which does not really work. So I'm gonna need like a new way of doing this. We just have this HBox property, but I'm gonna need like input and output or something, right? So that we can dynamically create these. I hate it because it breaks all these other UIs, but we have to do it, you know. I'm gonna slowly go through and start deleting some of these old UIs that we don't need. Like, I don't want this crafter UI anymore because now it uses this one, right? So let's delete that one. Just to kind of clear this up a little bit and get rid of some of these ones that we don't use. The refiner we don't use anymore, right? Same with... Looks like we got rid of the foundry one. Well, it's not the worst thing ever to get this working. I mean, it's scary, but we can do it. So we need two, essentially. We need an input box and an output box. Let's call them this. So every time we've referenced just HBox, now we have to change that, right? Which I think the only times we're in specific spots. Yeah, so I think we're okay. So we're just gonna do this. We're gonna loop through. So for I and input box, right? We're gonna free I and output box. Just gonna eradicate all those, right? So static slot count would be 1, yeah. So essentially I'm just gonna change it so that just the fuel slot is static. I think. Probably. I don't know. See, it's complicated, right? Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's almost like code that I should set up with a different thing, but it has to be like in this segment, so it's hard. It's really hard. It's freaking complicated. And see, like, this is wrong because this is just doing total size. We need to break it now up into... Oh, man. Into input and output size. And that's why it's so complicated here. Right. What's up, Bashik? The GDD can be edited? Like the doc that I sent a link for? Is that what you're talking about? Hey, Jacob, what's up? I am at it again, yeah. Really? It can be edited? Let me go check this. Because it shouldn't be. Do I have it as an edit link? Do a little edit. Someone do a tiny little edit. Okay. We need to change that then. We're gonna make it restricted. Oh wait, we have to do anyone with link. And anyone with the link can only be a commenter, and that's what I want. Or honestly, just a viewer. That's what I thought I did as the link, but I guess not. Now, how do I, field access? Yeah. Let me know if that fixes it. Yeah, I need to add the press kit too. That's on the Two Left Thumbs website. So, let's go to that. So sad that Starground's not in the official art. Wonder why I'm down in this other zone. It's just because there's too many games. Yeah, here's the press kit link. There we go. Not popular enough. Yeah, I guess so. Very sad. Nah, it's fine. I think it's just an order of how they were released. Because I think Dead Estate was the first one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. I think it's just an order of release, because I know Gorgon Shield was the last one, and Starground's the newest one, so... Well, actually, there's some games on here that aren't out, or that are out but aren't updated on here. Like the new one that just came out, isn't here, I noticed. Beloved Rapture, because it still says wish list, even though it's on Steam. So I think it's just not updated with that. Oh yeah, Starground's on sale now? Oh, I guess the multiplayer fest started. No way, nominate your favorites. Did it? It probably started. Well, let me check Steamworks. Should say in there what's going on. I thought that was December 19th, though. Oh, is it the autumn sale? Is that what's happening? I think that's what it is. Right. Did that, like, start today? If Steam would open. Yeah, I think it's the autumn sale, which is... Yeah, I expected that. I think. Yeah. So that's what's going on. We're good. I'm like, I didn't do a discount. I didn't know there's a sale, but no, it's just normal. Okay. Yeah, we're all good. No worries. Okay, anyways. Wow, let's get back to the pain and suffering of this stupid display. I hate this code. It's my least favorite thing to do right now, is mess with this dumb logic. Because it's so unstable. One day I'll do a complete rebuild of it, probably, but today is not that day. What's up? Welcome back. Okay, so this is clearing the input and output boxes. So yeah, the problem with this is that it just doesn't know... Yeah. That's a problem. Now, initiate slots is fine, is normal. Right, it just sets the name and the path and the... all that stuff. Slot. Hey. So honestly, I'm considering moving this resize slots into a different area. Starground Scene's game of the year. I appreciate it. It's not gonna win. But grab fun of the game creation. Yeah, it's going okay. I mean, there's always the parts that are gonna suck, which is what I'm going through right now. But it's okay, you know. Called for custom slot configuration. Okay. So I have to call initiate slots after that. Yeah, I mean, there's only one inventory we use this for. I believe. God, unless we use it for the other ones. But no, those ones don't dynamically change because it's just input and output slot, right? So it's like... I think. Let's make sure I didn't just break everything. I feel better. I gave it like 3 times when making my first game. Oh yeah, I mean, I've been through that whole process many times, you know. This is your first time making a game. If you're wondering why I said my first time, it's because my first time I gave up a lot. Yeah, it's hard. Game development's not easy. Yeah, I gave up on lots of projects, you know, over time. How does this work? I'm just like confused right now. Having a crisis. Where's the other output slot? Oh, duh, duh, duh. Yeah, there's no output slot. You break it. Okay. Yeah, I don't think anything else uses that because it's just for dynamic inventories. And so if we literally have one dynamic inventory, it made more sense when we had a bunch of them, right? But now that we have one, it's kind of like just complicating this script for no reason. So I think I'm going to just get rid of the logic in here and handle it somewhere else and just make it way easier, right? So no input and output box anymore. I'm tired of it. So in here, I'm just going to say if dynamic inventory setup slots. We should be good. So you beat Melania. Oh, and Elden Ring. Nice. I never actually played through all of Elden Ring. I played it for a little bit, but I just honestly could never really get into it. I don't know. Yeah, I just couldn't do it. Let's see here. How do I want to do this? Man, I'd like to do it in this script. That's like instantiating the categories and stuff. I guess I'll just do it in here. But see, that's the thing. I also don't know what recipe it is, right? Because this one, like, I can get the recipe. I don't know. We're going to have to figure it out. For now, I'm just going to do this, though. I mean, resize slots not found. Oh. Okay. So when we go into one of these inventories now, it should just be empty, or almost empty, right? And it shouldn't, like, instantiate or do anything when I change the recipe. Invalid key reference player. Okay. Let's do this again. Okay, so why does it crash? It's doing it on a null instance. But it's going through children.size. Is it because I have a null reference to a child in here? I just have a reference to 0 and 0. Let's say I duplicated this, it would just extend out, right? No, it shrinks that way, which I don't really like. But it's okay for now. Just gonna delete those. But keep the fuel slot. So in children, I just have that one. We'll move it up. And set size to 1. Let's relaunch the game. Water is good, gamers. Water is probably the best drink ever created. I don't know. It's pretty good. coffee is also pretty good. I will not lie. Won't diss on my favorite pal, coffee. But coffee is just water if you think about it. You know. So why is this complaining? It's just because the slots aren't set up properly, because it's not the right size. Okay, so I have to run and knit slots after this. So, I hate to do this. I really do. I think I'm gonna create a child of this inventory display. So we're gonna do class name inventory display. Should be the only instance of this. So I'm gonna disconnect that. I'm gonna add a new one. And it's gonna be crafting. It's gonna extend inventory display. I'm gonna go recopy our root. Class name or display. Not saying it can't find base class, even though it's right there. Sometimes it does that. Okay. So, and now we can finally do function setup slots. So since it's a, we're going to call super like that, right? And now we can do this stuff. Good. So, yes. 70% water, but I'm not going to drink. That's true. Not wrong. I don't think it'd be very nice to drink a creature. So we're going to turn dynamic inventory on. So children is going to be dynamic. I'm not going to do that manually. So what do I do with the fuel slot? You know, is that something I do in here? Fuel section. Yeah, I set it to be visible or not. So that's what we'll do. We'll set static slot count to 1 if it uses fuel, otherwise we don't. Set it to 0. You're not a creature, then what are you? We're all creatures. So I'm gonna have var input box, var output box, right? So we're gonna free any children in there. So we're gonna resize it to static slot count. And then within that range, right, we're gonna add it and then set its thing, and then we push back children. Okay. So in this one, basically, if we have static slot count to 0, I'm just gonna say children, right, is nothing. We empty it. So hopefully this should work now. It should dynamically add in these correct things. So our input and output box. The type has to be an HBox container. Input and output. Now, actually, I have to check and make sure it's a slot, right? If I is inventory slot, then free it. You're a mind goblin. Epic. That's pretty rad. Let's snooze that ad before it starts. Okay. I won't do it. I won't do it. Ooh, fine, I'll ask. I'll do it. What's a mind goblin? No. Can't believe this right now. I didn't assign name label. That's so fun, dude. There's no edit label, so that should be it. Yeah, I can't get the nodes of those children. Hey, Clay, what's up? How's it going? Yeah, I think they're going all right. I'm just currently working on redoing the so basically in the game we have this like one type of inventory, which is you know, the display, the UI. It's like dynamic, so it's for stuff like crafters, anything that you select a recipe, and so it automatically creates the slots and outputs and stuff. I'm currently just adding on more functionality to that. What we had for a long time was basically you could change the input slots, but the problem was that the output slots are static, which is not ideal. Because I'm adding in a new planet, right? A new zone, and I want a building that has a byproduct. But it's kind of a problem to do byproducts if you can only have one output. So so yeah, basically I'm setting it up so that you can like do this where you have like, you can have multiple inputs, here's your progress bar, but now you can have multiple outputs as well, right? And then, you know, you got your fuel slot down here. So just to, you know, make it more flexible, and keep one inventory like that for all those. Obviously you can still make your own custom ones, you know? But I like just having a standardized recipe UI because there's a lot of buildings that use this. There's the crafter, the foundry, the oven, I mean, you know, just all sorts of stuff. So having one sort of template for all of that is good for code. Right. So yeah, I'm just kind of working away at some stuff with that. It's annoying because it's a whole rebuild of the UI code again. Not a surprise, but it's, you know, it'll be for the better. So I'm just trying to figure out like what's going on in here. So we're gonna print out like what children is, right? And then let's do that. See, it's gonna cry. I have to restart it again. Let's do only one instance. So keep opening 2 every time. Mucker is gonna eat good, yeah. My hope is that it's really easy then to do this kind of stuff with like recipe buildings, right? Because if you're a mod creator, you don't have to do any UI. It's just automatic, which is very nice, right? So that's the goal. Keep getting pinged everywhere. I don't know what's going on. I need to do another mass clear out of my Discord servers, man. It's like insane. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, stuff is going well. I can show off the new underwater planet also. I don't know if you've seen that or not. Still heavily a work in progress. So it's getting there. So this is the underwater zone. There's 2 resources here that you get specifically, which is uranium and cobalt. So they're gonna be new stuff that you can gather. Now uranium, I am gonna add, you know, a whole bunch of stuff. We're gonna have nuclear reactors, nuclear bombs, a way to craft them at least. We already have them, but yeah. Bunch of different nuclear stuff. I'm also thinking about like depleted uranium as a material. Yeah, so everything here is underwater, and so there's an interesting challenge with this, which is that some buildings can't be placed underwater. So let's take your crafter, for example. It'll give you like a water warning. Oh yeah, it crashes when I open it. Well, that was a big mistake. Shoot. Let me reload the game. I shouldn't have opened it. But yeah, there's buildings that don't work underwater, and so the thing that you have to do to make them work is build an underwater building, like a pressurized building. So let me load this up. Does this mean the main character can walk in water in the other planet? That's, I guess so, yeah. Maybe I'll add a swimming animation, maybe, but I think that would be really annoying, honestly, to animate. We'll see with that, right? But yeah, you probably saw the buildings around. So these are like the pressure buildings. So you can go inside and build stuff in here and it works just fine, right? So this is basically how you can use stuff like crafters and burners under in this planet. You just have to set up more infrastructure in order to do it. So yeah. So we got an ad going on. I will wait for that to be over. I just haven't added a rotation for it yet. I totally could add that really easily. I just haven't yet. But yeah, I'll add the ability to put doors there on the edges, on the sides. I'm also going to be adding a type of pressure wall that has like it's basically a storage interface. So it's like, it has like a chest or like it's basically just going to be a chest in the wall. So it's a way that you can pipe in items into your base. So you can do something like this where you have like a mover that goes in there like that, so that the items can transfer inside from outside, right? So we're gonna do that. I have to make movers and underground belts and all that stuff waterproof, obviously, but yeah. Yeah, it's coming along. Just have to work on the crafting stuff. Acrobats, okay, epic. Yeah, I was saying like I want to do like a storage interface wall so you can pipe items into your base. So it's basically, it's gonna be really easy because it's just gonna be a chest, but in the wall. All right, so should be nice. Yeah. And there's these pressure pumps, like if you break them or something, then the room depressurizes. It's the same case if you break the wall, it depressurizes, you know? So it has to be an enclosed region. Otherwise you're gonna run into issues. Yeah, it's coming along. The next things really I'm gonna have to do after we get like the ore processing is the like the boundaries. I have to think about what I wanna do out there, right? Like, I just don't know yet. Because there has to be some like border so that the player doesn't just walk into the void. Maybe I'll just do like a mountain kind of thing. I could do like an abyss, but it might look it might be difficult to draw that, I guess. And if I did that, I'd probably want the edges to be more dynamic. So we'll see on that. Other plans though for this zone is like I want another biome that spawns in here and that'll have enemies in it. So you kind of have to, if you want to expand into those biomes, you have to deal with the enemies in there. So this zone isn't going to be entirely safe. I want there to be some combat, actually. Yeah. And yeah, maybe they attack your buildings and stuff if your buildings are in their biome, so you have to defend them and stuff. Could be kind of fun to do. So yeah, I don't know. I have to think about what I want to do. Yeah, I just want some element of difficulty, you know, in this new zone. I just wanted to be some kind of challenge. Victoria. Well, that's why I'm still like in thinking about the route I want to go with that, because I don't want it to feel like Factorio defense stuff, right? So I don't know. I have to think about that, right? Like, what would work for that? Because it could be like a thing where you have to clear out the enemies first, maybe. You know, maybe the enemies are not, they don't respawn or something like that, or only in certain areas. So it's like, I don't know. There's still a lot of unknowns that I just have to kind of think about and work out, but they will be eventually. Yeah, let's keep working away at this crafter UI. So it's weird that it crashes, because technically it should be okay. Right? Because, okay, I placed down the UI. So what it should be doing is resizing its static slot count, which should be 0 in this case. So it should create enough slots for the gears, which should be 3 slots, or 2 slots. Right? So we're gonna do it and then print out children. So children now becomes 0 and 1. But for some reason, it doesn't do the next one, which is a problem. Right, it should be doing 1 more on top of that. And yeah, it's because total size is not right, I guess, or something. So total size is just inventory data dot size. Actually, that should be totally right. We have 0 and 1. So, like, I guess why does it crash, right? Oh, I don't have it set as a manual slots inventory. That's the issue, probably. Oh yeah, look at that. So we can open it now. Technically, this will work, I think. Well, if it was connected to power. Obviously, it's weird and broken, but... So technically, it's working. Not quite in the correct manner, but that's a good step, I guess. Maybe a huge drill to destroy their nests, and then you drill deeper and deeper. No way. That's crazy. And there's like a fuel cell thing that you have to find, and there's like procedural terrain, and dude, that'd be so crazy. It would be kind of fun if you could if there's like solid zones of walls, right, that you kind of have to mine and clear out, maybe. Because I like the idea of like these big buildings being kind of like a little bit of like a pain to create, right? I don't want it to just be this super easy, like, you know, plop down a massive building and burn through this zone in 5 minutes, you know? I want there to be some difficulty. So... So yeah, we just have to keep working on this, but it's a good step. It's kind of working a little bit, maybe. Air is not limited, just because honestly that would probably be a pretty annoying mechanic. The downside to it is just losing items, so it's not really like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel good. I kind of like the idea of enemies or something like that more, because it's like more of an active, like, threat that you can be strategic about. With air, it's just kind of like your meter is going down. There's no, like, I don't know, there's nothing that you can do skill related to overcome it. Like with enemies, if you're really good at combat or have a really good weapon, then it's going to be easy, right? So I want there to be like I want the difficulty mechanic to be something that can be like, yeah, right, like I want there to be like real tension where it's like your abilities as the player actually matter, instead of it just being a timer. You know, that mechanic works in some cases, you know. I mean, like, I don't know. It's hard to say, because Starground isn't a survival game, you know. It makes more sense in Subnautica, since that's like a straight up survival game. But Yeah, I just don't want automation to be annoying, right? I think the better way of going about that is how I've done it with, like, having to pressurize regions and stuff. Like, I think that mechanic from a more active, like, automation side of it is fine, but I don't want the player themselves to, like, die and struggle to just exist in the world, you know? Maybe the enemies will attack the player and kill them. I still don't know about that. But maybe they'll only attack the player if, like, the player attacks them, like an Enderman. I want all these zones to be set up so that if you just sit there and don't move, your game would stay open forever, right? I don't want people to, like, die in these safe automation zones. Because it just, yeah, it's a whole thing, you know. So yeah, I don't know, that's the plan at least. And my headphones is turned off. Gotta plug those in. Okay, but this is a really good step, though, I'm gonna be honest. I know it doesn't look like much, but the fact that the slots are being created and the inventory is actually already functional is very good. That's promising. So, let's keep working away at it. Now what we can do is inside of the crafter, we can kind of do this maybe a little bit smarter. So yeah, we do all this stuff in the crafter. We're gonna have to go through and change this a lot, obviously, right? Now the crafter actually uses a unified script also. It just uses the recipe building script, so that's good. We don't have a million scripts doing the same thing. So this is the thing right here. It gets this recipe, right? Tired. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that inside of our display, right? We're gonna go back to our crafting display. Inside of here, we're essentially just gonna say get our recipe. So how we're gonna do that is in our inventory display, I believe we get the object. We say inventory. And I think I save inventory in here. But at one point I did that. Yeah, I do. Now that happens on ready. The problem is that this happens... Or no, it's okay. Yeah. So it'll exist by then. So we can say inventory.get parent.recipe. Or really we just say this. Building ID, like that. And then that, and then we're gonna say var recipe. And then now I should be able to actually print out what the recipe is when I create these slots and instantiate it. Right. Looks like we're good. I think, yeah. Yeah, the death animation does have an exclamation point. It's kind of funny. Also, I gotta plug in my... stupid. I just accidentally knocked out my headphone cable. That doesn't help. I spent all day working on my base. I added a yeah, it's kind of funny that it does. You don't really notice it, I guess, but yeah, it's interesting. Do I like Imagine Dragon? Imagine Dragon these nuts in your face, like that one? Yeah, Imagine Dragon's cool. I mean, radioactive. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Okay, so that gets the recipe. So now that we can actually see what the recipe is, we can kind of like know how many inputs or outputs to do. So we free the children. Don't worry, I know them all. I don't think any of those will get past me. Why does Imagine Dragons get so much hate? It's like we were planning, I saw it a mile away, man. Yeah. Oh. Okay, so this resizes the children. We're getting there. So do we want input to be first or output to be last? I guess we'll do input first. So we're gonna say for I in range, static slot count. So similar thing, but this time we're gonna do, instead of total size, we're gonna say recipe dot input dot size, right? And then we're gonna say input box. Basically we do this, where we're gonna push it back into our input box, right? And we're gonna copy all this code again, and this is gonna be for the output dot size. Static slot count. So we're gonna have to change our buildings in the recipe table, like for our crafter and stuff. Because output is just a dictionary. Which doesn't always work. But I guess I could just check what it is, like if it's a dictionary or not, which wouldn't be too bad. Right. Yeah, but then I have to have a bunch of extra code, which isn't very nice. Let's just change it to a, you know. I think this would work. Right? Yeah. So that's what we're gonna have to do. It's gonna be really annoying, but you know, it's not the first time that I've done this. Yeah, that's gonna be really annoying. But there's not that many in here, if we're being honest, you know. Luckily. And some of these we won't actually change, like farm plots, it doesn't really make... Well, we already have multiple outputs on farm plots, so that's epic. So, I mean, yeah, really, it's not that hard. Yeah, it'll be okay. Let's just start going through and doing it. Oh, man. A sleepy just like invades my brain space, you know? Luckily I can just do this method. Like I don't have to delete that stuff, I just go like that. So, the process for these ores, the plan is that we have the grinder. We're going to pulverize these ores into a powder, right? And then after we've done that, there's going to be the two machines. So there's the purifier. That's going to that can purify uranium, right, into like uranium ore into an ingot or whatever. I don't know. It's weird with uranium because it's not like an ingot, is it? Is it like a metal? I mean, I know uranium is a metal, but like, how is that set up in real life? You know, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I know there's like, they have those discs. I've seen images of those, you know, where it's like a uranium disc. I just don't know if that's actually uranium, like pure uranium, or if that's depleted uranium, you know, I just have no idea. So, not really sure. Screw this one up. But if anyone is a uranium expert out there, let me, you know, hit me up. Or if anyone wants to do a quick internet search for how that would be set up. So yeah, furnace stuff will never have byproducts for now, at least. It'll just be straight up in and out. Now, the foundry, though, will have multiple. Same with the refiner. Anything that is a recipe building where you select the recipe manually basically will. And then farm plot's already set up. Yes. Okay. Okay, that's been dealt with. Good step. So we need to loop through the static size plus the static slot count, because if it's 0, then we just go to 2 or whatever the input size is. And then I guess it's going to be the same thing here. So it's going to be weird. Static slot count plus input size, and then we're going to do output slot size plus all this stuff. I think should work, I hope. And then we're going to change that to output box. So let's load up the game and see what the freak that does. It might not work at all, we'll see. Uh-oh. Okay, so what happened? Because the output ID stuff, because now it's an array. So yeah. Not a big problem. We can just fix that really quick. Honestly, I'm gonna have to redo that stuff anyways, so it's like, you know. I'm gonna set this all the way back up to the top. Now, what is ingredient offset? Okay, it's at 1. it's still crashing and dying. Yeah, it's still just doing the output ID. I guess anything that touches output needs to be commented out temporarily. Let's see here. So, fuel slot will always be in slot 0 if it does have fuel, right? So if it uses fuel, we're going to say those and slot amounts. Yeah, it's just one. Slot filters, pushback global at fuel IDs. So we have to settle this stuff to nothing first. So like slot filters, the slot amounts. Same with all this stuff. So new size is 5.
But then these thoughts start to cloud up my mind. The little goblins say, how do you do? At least they have more minutes.
So new size is 5. I don't know if that adds up.
The goblins in my brain tell me what to do.
Because new size is more than just that. Right, because we have input size plus the output size now.
At least they're my friends. Our friendship will never end. I need to follow their instructions, even if I cause a ruckus.
Then this is looping through all the inventories. New size -1.
They tell me to do
Yeah, so that's like all the extra ones that get removed.
kill the policeman with the
So inventory data, we're gonna resize to new size. So we don't set that stuff anymore,
sharp, but I know I ain't.
right? Because that's that business up there.
That's why
So I'm gonna comment that out.
goblins in my brain.
Now this ingredient offset thing,
My brain tell me what
I do set that, right?
I'd rather listen
I think I do somewhere.
over you. At least they're my
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna set it to 1, otherwise it's 0.
I need to follow their instructions, even
So this is looping through every single slot. We're gonna drop, so I'm gonna comment this as dropping extra resources, resizing the inventory. Now this, we don't do this stuff anymore, right? So with input and output, I'm gonna have to do those two separately, I think, which is fine.
the goblins in my brain tell
So I'm just gonna loop from this. I don't know why I'm doing it like this.
I'd rather listen to them over you.
Plus ingredient offset. I'm gonna push back. So this is for inputs. So input ID and amount. We're gonna say we can insert but not take. Then we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna loop through the output now. So it's gonna be sort of what we did before, where it's ingredient offset plus recipe input size. Then this one is plus that and plus ingredient offset. So this is going to push back output.id, output.amount. Then it's going to say can insert is false, but can take is true. Okay. I think that's all we need to do for the inventory business. There's still going to be some jank, like with the fuel amount stuff, but We'll work that out. Snooze this freaking ad. I hate ads. Okay, so really quick, just going through the fuel stuff. That should be slot 0 now, right? Because that's where the fuel would be. This is checking the inputs. So this doesn't work anymore. We can't go to inventory data size. We have to say, same thing we did up here. Recipe input plus ingredient offset, right? So we get rid of that stuff. Oh, actually, no, that's correct there, yeah. Now this is checking outputs, so that's going to be a whole thing. We're going to work on that in a minute. Right, so that's like removing input items. And we'll comment that out. And creating output items, right? Okay, this should be ready to go. Hopefully it doesn't crash. There might be some issues with the loop ranges, which is okay. I just want to make sure that it... Okay, so this is wrong. Index of 1 on base object array. Oh, on output? So recipe.output size. Oh. Yeah, I guess I screwed this up. Let's just do this. But we're gonna push this at dot ingredient offset. Okay, so similar to what we had before. And then this is gonna be ingredient offset, but then also plus input dot size. Hopefully that works. Actually, this is just looping through the output. We just need to do that. But we do need to do that for this. Right. Same here. And that should work. It's gonna scream for a minute and complain. It's fine. I know it's janky, but we're working it out. I guess it's really the same thing here too, right? So we're gonna loop through the input size, set the slot. The name is gonna be I plus static slot count. And then here the name is gonna be static slot count plus input.size. Now that might actually have to be input.size minus 1, now that I'm thinking about it. Right? Yeah, that's probably what it's gonna be. Right. Let's just think here. So this either will loop from, so that'll add to either 0 or 1. Okay, which is fine. This one will add to 0 and then input.size So it's how many of the inputs we've gone through. No. So we don't want to do that, actually. Okay, let's try this again. I think this will work better. Fortunately, we have an ad coming up that I can no longer skip, so we'll have to make do. Okay, please don't crash. Okay, we didn't crash. We crashed there. Now, it's actually okay. It's just because we have some stuff in here that's outdated now. Because it shows, like, the old stuff here, right? For recipe button. I'm just gonna say output 0. And that should fix that. Okay. Well, that's looking pretty good. Okay, still some issues, but it's not a big deal. So this is saying index 1 cannot be accessed on inventory data, which is kind of odd. Oh, that's removing input items. Right. Why would I subtract the ingredient offset if I'm starting an ingredient offset? And then also, we won't go to there. We're going to go to recipe.input.size. Right. So we're going to subtract recipe input I component I minus ingredient offset. And then same with this stuff. We subtract the amount. Okay. Let's try that now. Yes. Okay, looking pretty yummy. Looking pretty good. Looks like everything's working, which is awesome. So we're gonna create some funny wires. So it didn't create the wires, and that's just because the output stuff isn't set up yet, but it's displaying the recipes properly. It is gonna mess with some stuff because of the ingredients there. Like, buildings are gonna have the wrong items in them, which is gonna be annoying. But now it looks like there's some old, outdated stuff in here. I don't have a custom oven UI, do I? No. Yeah, it uses recipe building. So why did it crash? So it looks like the script happened fine. So in get children, it tried to get it at I and it failed. For some reason. So what was children? So yeah, it was nothing, which doesn't make any sense. That should be fuel. It's because children gets reset to nothing. But the other ones look okay. So let's go into our crafting UI. So I believe it's because what happened was that the building uses fuel, but it deleted the initial slot. The static slot count, right? So by default, that's 1. Looks like I don't change it anywhere. So it'll do setup slots. Sets the size and all that stuff. Which is, so it has a donut and coal, moonflower, all that stuff. Yeah, static slot count is 1. So it resized it to 1. Which is what it should have done. No, because fuel box is still there, so it didn't delete anything in there. Just trying to figure out what happened, right? So it's still 1. Recipe input. So I must be doing something wrong somewhere. Say input, add children to push back, get path to slot. Then here I loop through the output. So that's probably my issue here is with the output stuff. I would presume, but I don't know. So why did... I guess it's just that slot 0 somehow got deleted. I don't know how. Right, because slot 0 here should never get deleted. Unless it's doing it somewhere else. But it just resized it to 1, so that should be okay. So that's I plus 1 plus recipe by the size. Actually shows what recipe is. So yeah, it should have the 4 slots and then 0. So it should be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the children. 1, 2, 3, 4, which it is. So yeah, the only issue is somehow it deleted the fuel slot, which is weird because that shouldn't happen. The only thing I can think of is that it happened in the parent script somehow, right? I don't actually set the static slot count thing, do I? Yeah. I'm just gonna check in here. So we're gonna say if... Right, because we can now get our building ID and stuff. Dot uses fuel. Else is 0. I think that's what I have in there in the crafting building script. Or I call it recipe building, which I guess makes more sense. Yeah, it uses fuel. So if it uses fuel, that'll be 1, otherwise it's 0. Okay, that could have been the issue, maybe. I don't know, it's hard to say. Let's relive the game. We're getting there. I know this is a nightmare and a lot of work, but it's going to be very nice once this is set up. It's going to give us a lot more flexibility in terms of inputs and outputs. It means we can do basically just recipes that just do whatever we want. We can have as many inputs or outputs as we want. We could have crazy stuff, right? Like we could have a recipe that does 50 different outputs or something, you know? So it's like opens us up for a lot of things. As soon as we get it all working. Yeah, I mean, this is looking really good. But the oven still crashes. I don't know why. Argument 1. I don't know why it's null. Like, what's happening, right? This is for the oven. So I'm just gonna print children before I do this. See what it's printing out and make sure that looks normal. I mean, I guess I'm already printing it out. It's just that's null for some reason, and I don't know why. And I think that's what's happening, so it's grabbing that initial null node and just screwing with everything. I mean, it's like, do I resize the children or anything? I'm just going to go through and find if there's any place where I do that, right? So that's normal. So children starts as an empty array, but obviously I'm exporting it. Like, it's not going to start like that. Because in the crafting display, right, we start with the... Oh, what? Okay, I'm just stupid. For some reason it didn't start with them. I don't know why. I'm not going to worry about it, though. Node path, 0. Okay. We should be fine. I must have just changed the children array and, like, screwed it up at some point, so... We should be okay now. Let's load it up again. Okay, crafters work as usual, and then ovens also work. Now, obviously, there's one issue with this update, and it's just sort of unavoidable, but it's the fact that it's gonna change the ordering of these, like the indexes of these slots, right? It's not something that I'm very happy about, but I don't know what else I would do about it, right? So it means that players are going to have to go through and change these slots, but this should be a one-time thing. I mean, truth is, this game's in early access. There's bound to be changes. That's just how it goes, you know? So I don't think it's a terrible thing if things change every once in a while. So for some reason this just like stopped. Oh yeah, I stopped the fuel consumption, or I broke that, I think. Somehow. I don't know, let's go look at that. We're really close though. Okay, recipe building. So in process, where we're getting our fuel. So we're saying if recipe, if uses fuel. So that's like all the setting new recipe stuff. This is actually processing things. So we're saying is fuel amount 0. Oh, we're getting the index from 1 still there. That's why. Okay, that's fixed. Now we get the fuel properly. Obviously, amount is going to freak out and stuff. Which is fine. So why did this crash, actually? That's interesting. Hey, Mars, what's up? How's it going? It's going good. I'm getting really close. What I'm working on right now is adding support for more dynamic inventories. So what we had now, what we had for a long time was this, where like you can change the number of inputs, but there's only ever one output. And it was fine for most of the time, honestly. I never really had any like major issues, but recently though it's been really, really annoying because I want buildings that have more than one output. So now what you can do with this new system is this, where you can have, you know, you can have a bunch of inputs, but you can also have a bunch of outputs too, like that. Right. So that's the change I'm making, the support I'm adding with these UIs. The day in paradise, not sure who's been someone's. Yeah. So yeah, it's going. So we're moving input items. Basically gonna loop through our recipe. All of those. Then we're gonna say inventory component, inventory data I. Minus ingredient offset. Okay, that's crashing because the item in there is null, but it's just because we're not checking our inputs properly, which is fine. So we're just gonna loop through just our size. We're gonna check all those, and then we're gonna do minus ingredient offset on those. So if that one minus ingredient offset is equal to recipe input at i.id, okay. Yeah, that should fix that, I think. Just gonna skip that error. Should be working. But it's not, so it must be hitting a part in here where it's not valid for some reason. So it's not there. What about there? So why is that the case? So valid inventory will start at true. So we're gonna loop through our inventory as long as that's not null. If the ID is equal, yeah, to the input ID. And if the amount the amount is less than, which is not. Somehow that ID is not lining up with this ID, which is odd. Right. Let's print out what that ID is. That should be, so the one at 1, whichever that is. It's not printing though. Oh, it's probably because this needs, Yeah, let's hold on. Let's do this. Continue. Okay, it's doing it on a bunch of things. Yeah, I don't know what it's like, what the issue is. It's hard to test when you have a million different buildings, isn't it? Right now, this should be processing. We have enough iron and coal, and output's empty, right? I guess just temporarily, I'm gonna go destroy all my machines. I hate to do it, but... I'm just gonna load my save though, it's not a big deal, you know? Okay. Let's see. Oh. Now it should give me an accurate print statement here. Let's clear out the output. There we go. So it's still finding copper wire. Where is that? Oh yeah, I have this one over here. Or wait, I want to keep that one. I don't want this one though. Must be another crafter around here somewhere. I don't know where. Oh. Okay. So it's reading coal. It's just reading coal. So I think that's our issue. Is for some reason it's not looping through all the inputs. Because our recipe uses 2 inputs. But it's just doing the one. I'm also just going to print this, print I. It should be printing 0, 1. It is. So I think it's saying that this is null at index whatever. Oh my god, it's because I totally changed the indexes. That's why. It's all screwed up. I almost forgot. I'm like, duh, no wonder. Okay, that should work now. There we go. And then same with this down here, that's probably why we were having issues, because it was deleting it from the completely wrong slots. So... there we go. So ingredient offset, yeah. It's gonna scream and cry and crash, but we'll just relaunch it, it's fine. Oh man. Hopefully we don't have any crashes. Just gonna go confirm with this foundry over here, because that one seems to be correct. So it loops through it. Should consume these items, which it just did. Yeah, I think we're good now. So now we can go ahead and work on the creating of the output items. So it's basically going to be almost the exact same thing as this. Right? So now we're going to loop through the outputs. And for this, we're going to have to do this. So ingredient offset plus the recipe input size. And I guess we'll just kind of copy this, right? I'm just gonna do that for this since it's so big. Index. So if inventory component on inventory data index is null, right? We're gonna say set it to global.create item. So it's gonna be output I.id and output I.amount, right? This is gonna be recipe.output. Otherwise, that means there's already some there. So if at index it's equal to output I.id, then we're gonna say add it at the index plus the amount. And that's it. So for creating the output items, that should be done now. So if we watch in here, this should start making steel now, which it does. Lovely. Let's just watch for a minute. So it actually didn't work here. Oh, I just forgot to put I. So it should create 2 now in here, which it does. Lovely. So the very last thing to make this all work, I think, finally, dude, that's gonna be awesome, is this here. So we're gonna loop through all the outputs. I'm gonna use much of the same code here. Honestly, I'm just gonna do what I did before. I'm gonna say index is I plus ingredient offset plus recipe.input.size. So if the output at 0 is not null, if the ID at recipe output I is equal to, then that means that our stack size, right, is going to be that inventory at index.id dot stack size times the stack size multiplier. We're getting there. This one's going to be index recipe.output I.amount is greater than stack size. Valid inventory is false. So in all these cases, I'm actually going to break out of the loop, right? Because it means we don't have to check anymore. Honestly, same with inputs. I don't know why I didn't do that before. It's a very minor improvement, but might make a slight performance boost. Okay. I think we're done. So this is going normal. If I put the wrong item in, yeah, it like stops because it's like, oh, sorry, I can't do that no more. And then also this, I'm going to check and make sure. So we're going to be crafting wire. Yeah, so it's too full. It goes over the stack size, but if I put 97 in, then it should be fine. So watch it. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty epic. So now that we finally finished all that work, it's gonna look the same. It's gonna look like nothing changed. But believe me, it did. It's so much more flexible now. Hey, Ottermate Games, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. So yeah, a whole lot of work for basically no visual change, but it just adds so much more ability to our UIs now in our crafting buildings. Right. So yeah, pretty cool. Yeah. I might have to like add in the ability to do custom icons and stuff for these recipes. So one thing here is that like, okay, before it was easy because every single item was just a one output, but now we have the potential for recipes that are different or that can have multiple outputs, and so it doesn't make sense to have that icon of one of the outputs, right? So we're gonna need to start doing some icons. I need to add in... Hey! They also gave me a raid. Thank you so much. Yeah, Otter, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. I'm gonna give you a shout out. There you go. Welcome in. How are things going? How was your stream today? What were you up to? We'll go over what we're working on in a minute. So I am the Indie Dev team. Ah, yeah, nice. Yeah, it's been good, that team. It's been a great way to get a lot of raids and stuff, so. Working on 2D pixel animations. Nice. Yeah, I was working on a lot of animations a couple streams ago. One of the ones I did was like this water pump animation right here, so. Playing some other people's indie games. Awesome. Sounded cool. Yeah, I'm just currently working on one big hurdle that's been in my way. Oh, of course we have ads. I'm gonna wait for the ads. Dang it. Always the worst timing possible with the ads, man. Always sucks. I just don't... It's crazy that Twitch doesn't have like an auto block ad thing for that, you know? I mean, it's like... I don't know. It's frustrating. Let's wait it out. Almost. Okay. Ads are over. Sorry about that. Worst timing ever. Otter, are you still here? Yeah, okay. Just making sure. Before I go on and describing everything, and then yeah. Yeah, it's always the worst timing with that, man. I don't know. You'd think that Twitch would have like a thing. I mean, yeah, I mean it does help somewhat. I get a couple bucks, I think, from it, but you'd think Twitch would have a thing to block it though if it's right on top of a raid, you know? It's like, come on, man. But yeah, so what I'm up to, I'm working on so there's been a hurdle in Starground for a while. Well, I guess I should describe Starground. So this is Starground. It's a combo of like factory automation stuff and also dungeoning. So you can go out and mine your resources and build your factory. You have these little bee guys, and they go out and mine these resource nodes and then bring them back. And you can route those around, process them in smelters, and craft them into things. So that's the whole factory part of it. The other part is the dungeoning. So you can go to like the Enceladus dungeon here and go fight enemies. Yeah. And yeah, Starground's also multiplayer, which is a pain, but it's been good though. I mean, Dropship's fun, yeah. Yeah, I have just, I think that's actually technically a particle, the dropship, yeah. I dig the planet map, yeah, thanks. I'll just go find the boss really quick. I added this mini-map last update, and that's been nice to have, just so I can kind of see where I am, you know. I'll just kill these guys. Should be a boss somewhere. It's the Tree of Wisdom. It's not a particle? I thought something was particles. Maybe it's the little, I think it's the little pieces that eject off from it's the particle then, yeah. I thought it was a particle. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to go double check that. Okay, boss is not in here. Yeah, anyways, what I've been working on though has nothing to do with the dungeoning. I will go into the problem. It kind of takes that to like describe what we're doing and why, you know. Okay, boss is over here. I'm just gonna go to the boss and die. Kill him. No, I'll let him kill me. Spawns in these little shrimmy guys. Let him. Come on. It's doing a lot of summoning. There we go. Okay, the pod debris is particles. Okay. Alright, I am dead now. Okay, so I've been working on this crafting recipe UI stuff. So how it was in the game before, imagine these red squares are dots. So, or not, imagine the red squares are inventory slots. So this is your like input items, right? So this is, say this is in a crafting machine like this, right? So this is the same layout here, right? Should get the idea. So that's input. This is your output. So this is where the items will go after they're done crafting, and then you have your fuel down here, right? So this is the general layout of the inventories for buildings that have recipes, right? Now it's all fine and dandy. It worked pretty well, but one problem was that I had it set up with the code so that there was only one output slot, right? So you couldn't do 2 slots or anything like that. It just wasn't possible. And so it caused a lot of issues because there's cases where I want to do multiple outputs. I want to have like byproducts of a crafting process, right? So I've spent most of today working on that. Now it's basically been moved to this, where it's still very similar. You know, you still have input and most of the same stuff, right? Fuel. But the big difference being you can have as many output slots as you want now, right? Which is a big upgrade, because now we can do different outputs. So like say we have a crafting recipe where it makes a metal ingot, but it also makes like slag, right, at the same time. So it's like there's maybe certain materials that you need to get rid of. They're not good. They're byproducts, right? So yeah, that's what I've been working on, and I think I have it fully working. I've been testing it. Everything seems to be going good, so yeah. Complex can stack for sure, yeah. So yeah, that's been the main thing. The other thing I've been working on is the, so I've been adding another planet to the game. So this is the planet called Tyria. So this is an underwater planet. Everything here is underwater. There's these different resource nodes that spawn in. This planet's still a work in progress. There's still like a void and stuff, but some bubble streams. So the 2 resources here that you can get on Tyria is cobalt and uranium. So basically, I want the processing of these items to have byproducts. So like when you process cobalt, it creates some nasty materials that you have to get rid of. Because these are higher tier materials, this is like the next level of automation. So I want it to be harder. I want the refining process to be a little more complicated. Was the sound design on Tree? Yeah, thanks, appreciate it. It's literally just me. It's just I pitch down my voice. I'm just going, and that's the Tree of Wisdom. And I pitch it down. It's kind of funny. So yeah, the whole thing with this planet is that like there's certain buildings you can't place outside. So, you know, I have a crafter building. I can't place it outside. So if I grab... Don't have any copper on me. Well, okay, something like a furnace. It just stops working outside because it's underwater. So obviously it doesn't really make sense to smelt ore when it's underwater because it's just gonna put out your fire. So the whole idea with this planet is you have to build these pressure zones. So I built one here. You basically you take these walls and then you can put a an airlock in like that. I'll just put one there. There's a terrible... I built this really bad, but... And then you put a pressure pump inside and you pressurize, and now this is a little enclosure in here. I'm probably gonna make it so this pressure pump requires power or something like that, but this is good though. It's just like a little pressure area so that you can build these kinds of buildings on this planet. So like a furnace you can put in here and it works totally normal and you can smelt stuff, right? But as soon as you break the wall, right, it stops working. You can't smelt anymore. So I haven't actually tested that, like breaking the region midway through. Okay, it does work. Which room is an interesting way to play with the building mechanic. Yeah, I think it's just interesting because it's like, I want there to be more of a setup to make automation and production lines on this planet, right? So, and you have to like deal with the deep sea pressures. I think it's just a new fun sort of logistical challenge. But yeah. Yeah, so the underwater gameplay sounds, I have it set up so I don't have to make new ones. It's very nice. All the sounds I do, I basically just make it as if it was above water. And then on the audio bus, I have this. So there's a couple different sound effects that I have on here. Audio buses in Godot are really awesome. You can just do add effect, and then all I'm doing is just adding in a low pass filter. So it's cutting everything off to below 800 hertz. So it just kind of sounds, you know, deep and muffled. I add a tiny bit of a reverb and then also some distortion. It kind of makes it sound a little wavy, I guess, right? It kind of modulates the sounds. So yeah, it's really easy. So yeah. Yeah, nice work with the audio bus. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's awesome. I love the audio bus stuff. Being able to do effects on the fly like that, and just with how many different ones there are too. There's all sorts of things, pitch shifting and recording and reverb and EQ and compressors, and it's like, it's pretty awesome to do that stuff real time. You know, with other engines and stuff like that, you would have to export all of those different sound effects separately, and that would take a million years. It's nice that I can just use the same sounds for everything, but just apply a filter. So, but yeah, so that's been good. I mean, so far things are going pretty well here in this zone. Just a matter of kind of grinding out stuff. I need to add, I want to add like an enemy here that might attack you. If you get too close or hurt it, right? So, yeah, that'll definitely be coming. Yeah, really, it's just a matter of like with Starground now, just updating things. It's out on Steam already. It's in early access, so I mean, you know, I'm just kind of updating things until release. I think for the, I can go look at the plans again. This update's going to be like an automation update, hence the new zone that you can build in. There's a couple more things I want to do. Let's see here. If Miro would load for a second. We have like a very early roadmap. I'm not going to show it off because it's just not really much, but but yeah, the next update I want to do like ranching and economy stuff. So basically, like, we have farming in the game. You can place down a farm plot and grow things, right? But I want there to be more of a reason to. I'm probably gonna add stuff like maybe potion brewing and like animals, right? So you can have animals in pens, and then that kind of creates a use for these walls, right? So you could like make an enclosure like this, right? And lock your pets, your animals in here so that they don't escape. So yeah, just stuff like that. Could be fun. So yeah, more crops, more food. So this is going to be kind of a precursor update to the adventuring update, which is going to be like a pretty big one. I'm kind of trying to break up as much stuff from that into other updates just because it's a very big one, right? For the adventuring update, we're kind of thinking like we're going to add quests, NPC dialogue, a new dungeon, like exploration zones so you can travel into them and just kind of explore around. It's not necessarily a combat zone. There probably will be a lot of combat elements, but it's just kind of like a more narrative, like story-focused kind of thing. And yeah, I'll be sprinkling some little other additions in these updates. It's not just going to be pure adventuring and pure automation and stuff, but... And then, yeah, probably another automation update before launch, which will be like the automation update 2.0. And that's going to be like the final really high-end stuff. I'm thinking like, you know, quantum computers and Dyson spheres and fusion reactors, right? Stuff like that. So that's going to be like the ultimate tier of buildings. The peak of technological progress. So yeah. But yeah, that's the plan for early access. And then release is probably just going to be more of a quality of life bug fix update, optimization kind of thing. And yeah, then I'm gonna have to, you know, figure out what's next after that. I think it'll be fun though, you know, because I mean I've learned so much working on this game. It's crazy, and I am really excited to bring those skills to a different idea. You know, I mean I've really enjoyed working on Starground. I probably will continue working on it after release whenever I feel like it, you know. But yeah, I think it would be really fun, though, to start working on a new thing. So, I don't know. Do we have you so far? Well, I appreciate it, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Multiplayer is just a freaking nightmare, man. Yeah, if you're... I don't know. Multiplayer is a tricky one, because multiplayer is cool, but it's also really, hard. Yeah, it is. It sucks sometimes. I mean, I'm glad I made Starground multiplayer, but it's taken up so much of my time. You know, I've been working on this game for maybe 10, actually more like 11 months now. And it's like, man. Multiplayer has probably been like 50% of that time, like, you know. Nice progress. Yeah, thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how fast development's gone with this, you know, dropping early access only like 8 months of time, you know, like that's not that bad. I've had games that's have gone on for like 2 years and it just kind of stalls and doesn't go anywhere. So I'm glad that this is really, you know, I'm really getting some good progress and making things move fast. I think that's kind of going to be my goal with games and stuff in the future, is like not sink so much time into it, because I've done that. I've had the game, you know, I've sink 2 years into it. I spend all this time. It's just like, it's just not worth it, you know. Unless I truly think it's like the ultimate best idea ever that I'm ever gonna have, I think it's just better to pump out more games than spend all of your effort and energy into one massive one. So, but yeah. Next game I'm hoping to be a little smaller scale than this. This is a very complicated game because it's got multiplayer and Steam stuff, and you know, it's got all the stuff. It's got saving and loading systems, it's got combat, it's got building, it's got everything. So it's a lot of work, you know. But oh, and mod support too. It's just a whole nother aspect. It gets pretty insane. But yeah, next game I'm kind of thinking a little smaller, a little Maybe not quite as wide as Starground is, right? I want to like take a specific idea and like build it up taller. I don't want to make the scope too big. I mean, I managed to do everything I want with Starground and stuff. It's not like I, you know, struggled a lot, but it definitely is a lot of work though. Because Starground is just kind of become so much more of a sandbox game, right? Over time, with all these different interlocking elements and stuff. But yeah, it'd be nice to have something that's maybe not that. Something that's very, yeah. Yeah, made the cup small but filled to the brim. Exactly, yeah. I just want a nice, polished little game next, I think, is the idea. But I don't know, you know, it's always hard to say, because, like, that's what I wanted for Starground initially, right? So it's like, you just kind of have to wait and see how things unfold. I mean, that's definitely the plan, is like a small-scale thing, but, you know, 4 months in, I could realize this is the coolest game ever, and I want to spend 2 years on it, you know? Like, that's the thing. So, it's hard to say. Really, my goal right now, I think, is just make enough money to survive. Starground is making some money. It's been good. I mean, I don't have any complaints. But it's not been, like, a ton, right? It's still not really, an adequate amount to afford stuff. You know, I mean, really, if I'd love to hit at least minimum median salary for the US, which I'm actually really close to. I think that I might actually hit that. Maybe, we'll see, yeah. But yeah, you know, I'd love to make like 80K a year, 100K a year. That'd be pretty awesome. So I think the way to do that is have a couple different games, couple eggs in my basket, diversify. Because a time will come eventually where Starground stops selling. It's just an inevitability. You know, the game will still be up. Obviously, I'm still going to be doing bug fixes and everything, but I do have to start planning for what's next and, like, have a plan, you know? Because it's like, at some point, I will need to transition to the next moneymaker. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I've got to think of some good ideas. I'm supposed to have, like, a pitch day thing. I filled out a whole document of ideas, so yeah, I get that. I hope you can get there. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'd love to just make enough money so I can kind of like slow down a bit. You know, because I want to make things sustainable and I want to enjoy it more. It can really feel like sometimes working on like Starground and stuff, like there's a lot of pressure to get things done really fast. And it's not like people are saying or demanding new things necessarily, but it's just that pressure reflected in the sales and stuff, you know? It's like, you know, I go couple too many weeks without a sale and I just see it like, you know, without an update or something, it starts to drop. So it's like, I can't just take a year to work on this big, massive update. It has to be like somewhat consistent, but still branded as like a big event thing. So yeah, it's hard. Game development's pretty hard. It's very time consuming and I don't really get much of a break ever. I mean, I can take like a break one day and just not work on the game, but it's like, it's not like a job where like I still get paid and stuff for taking a break, you know, paid time off. I don't get paid time off. Like all the time.
I have bad news. My friend who tried Godot unfortunately went back to Game Maker. I guess it isn't for everyone.
Back to Game Maker.
It's sad to see him crying trying to make a lighting system.
I'll comment on that in a minute. But yeah, it's what was I saying? I was saying something. I don't even remember. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Oh yeah, what I was saying was that yeah, thank you. Like, it's not like a regular job where I get paid time off and stuff. It's more like if I take a break, then that means development stops, you know? And so every day I take a break is just another day I have to add to the stack. And that's why it's such a grind sometimes, you know? Because it's like, okay, well, if I don't add this new thing today, I'm just going to have to add it tomorrow. There's no, like... Yeah, right. My solo dev. So, partially solo dev. I guess I'd say for the most part. I do all the art. I do all the programming. I do all the sound stuff. The things that I do not do is music. We have Ace doing music. And we have 2 other people working on stuff. We have Max. He's working on like narrative story writing stuff. Not a whole lot of that's been added into the game yet, obviously, because like I'm still kind of setting up the systems for that. Like I still have to add a, you know, dialogue and NPC system in order to actually integrate that like writing content. But yeah, that'll start. He'll start playing like a bigger part soon, especially with the adventuring update and all that stuff. And then we have Dylan. He's working on like concept art stuff, which is really helpful. I do really appreciate the concept art because it just helps with stuff like this. You know, like I can just take a look at the concept art and then I can instantly like know what I'm drawing, right? Concept art is actually really, really useful. It's concept art / like ideation, really, because it's coming up with ideas too, so that's been very helpful. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely the main driver. All those people, they have their own stuff going on. They're not working on it full time like I am, you know? So I can't technically say that I'm a solo dev, but I guess I'm a solo dev in spirit. So, but yeah. Yeah, break time is in sales. Yeah, it's rough. I don't know. That's why, like, if I can just build up enough money, background money, I can just coast off of, like, my savings, you know? So I can just store 100K in my bank account and just use that up while I'm working on the next big thing, right? I don't have to, like, worry so much about the time I'm spending and how much I have left to do this and the next update and all this stuff, right? I can just, like, have full 100% focus on the game, and that would be a very nice thing. To just like not have to worry about the outside finances and all that business and just focus on making the best game I can, right? So, but yeah, Game Maker. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. Godot obviously isn't for everybody. That's why other game engines exist. Man, I use Game Maker. Lighting in Game Maker is really bad, dude. I don't know. I've tried to set up lighting in Game Maker, and it's just... it's a nightmare. Because you can't... There's no, like, lighting nodes and stuff like there is in Godot. You have to do shaders. And you have to write them, and it's... Oh, God. Yeah. I've had a bad time with Game Maker. Many bad times, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah. I'm so tired. Got like no sleep last night. I was up, I was working, I made a program last night. And that's why I'm so sleep deprived this morning, because I was up until like 10 a.m. I need to keep track of my finances for, you know, big boy games and stuff, so I can file taxes. And I've been trying to use like QuickBooks and New Cash, but I've struggled using them, and it's just not really quite what I want out of a finance program. So I decided just to make my own, because I'm tired of it. I want something that's simple but also has like the right formatting for my account and stuff. So I figured, well, I'm just gonna make my own then. So this is what I have so far. It's pretty basic, but basically you can add in these different entries. You can add a date. Oh, that's an invalid date. because it's account and stuff. There's like different categories, right, of all the different things. You can add a description and an amount. You can also load and save these. They export as CSVs, so it's really easy to import into other places and stuff. If anyone wants this, let me know and I can make it a thing for people. But I'm gonna keep working on it. It's still really basic, but this is gonna be really convenient for me though, because it loads up in 2 seconds. QuickBooks takes like a million years to load. I get tired of it. QuickBooks is so slow. I have to wait like 2 minutes for it to open up. I can't just... With this, it loads instantly. I mean, look at the load time. It's just, you know, as soon as this, bam, it's like instantly loaded. It's so much better. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on more functionality for this. But so far, it's pretty nice. You know, you can do save as. I have it linked up to the default Windows, Explorers. Yeah, it just saves everything as a CSV. I also have autosaves, exit. I have a save on exit in case there's like issues, because I had some times where it would overwrite my save and stuff, but yeah. Let me know. Anyways, that's my reasoning for my sleep deprivation. But yeah. My friend played the prototype and said, I'm going to do a horror game too. Oh yeah, nice. Horror games are fun. I'm actually thinking about maybe doing a horror game for the next one, but I don't know. I have one idea. I'm not gonna release any info on it because really it's super early on, and if it is the next game that we're gonna do, I don't want to give people an idea of what it's supposed to be before it's ready to go. It's not the submarine horror game, no. Bounding Main. Yeah, that game is on permanent hiatus for now. I don't know if I'm ever gonna finish it. If I ever do revisit Bounding Main, well, first off, it's not gonna be in Godot. Or, no. It's not gonna be in Unity, it's gonna be in Godot. Because Godot is really good. I mean, that's what I love. I created a program in Godot. I can do whatever I want in Godot. You know? That's what I love about Godot. I mean, I know you can do that same stuff in Unity, but, you know, this is cool. Being able to make my own financial program for keeping track of finances in Godot is kind of cool. So yeah. If I did do Bounding Main again and revisited that game, we're probably going to completely change it. I mean, we can go to the YouTube channel and take a look, you know, at the last... I wonder what the last video I had on that was. I need to do more videos. God, Kickstarter is 4 months ago. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was like talking about the tutorial stuff. This isn't even my same setup now. This is me playing. Yeah, Starground's looking different back then. A little bit. It's almost the same. Yeah, it's the last, like, development video. And yeah, then we got Bounding Main. Yeah, I had this video, which is like, what are our next plans? What is this? Oh yeah, it's talking about Bounding Main. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever revisit Bounding Main. It's just, it's hard to say, right? Maybe one small part of me somewhere wants to. But another part of me doesn't. Because I think the core idea and concept of Bounding Main is flawed. I think I have gripes with it. And I could do it so much better in Godot, oh my god. In the time it took me to learn how to do 3D modeling in Unity, I could have been done, dude, if I used Godot. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll revisit it. I mean, who knows, right? Is there a demand for it? Do people want to see Bounding Main return? You know? God, this is a year ago now. Yeah, I don't know. I think the problems with Bounding Main is just that it wasn't gameplay first. It was idea first, which is bad. I threw a lot of stuff into it that I'm like, okay, this is gonna be the thing, but then I forgot to actually make it fun. I didn't really plan out the gaming mechanics, like what do you do in the game, because what it was initially, or what I did add, was just back and forth kind of item delivery, which is stupid. That's not fun. This is walking simulator. Like, no one wants that, right? So it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I had to think of if I were to revisit it, I think I would make it a much smaller scale thing. It would probably be more of like instead of this big facility, like a small confined space, maybe. Something maybe that takes place in like a single room or a very small area, right? I could see maybe doing a thing where it's like you're in like an underwater station, but it's like a small station. You know, it'd be like a kind of thing for like 4 people. So I don't even know if my prototype was actually fun. I think it's fun. I mean, it definitely could use more gameplay mechanic. Friend said it's not good. Well, see, the thing is what of course we have ads. Wait 1 second for the ads. God dang it, dude. Freaking ads, man. Oh, let's draw some sprites. That sounds fun. We're gonna need to create items for the uranium and all that stuff. I want to do more alloying stuff in the foundry. I don't know, maybe we'll look into that. An ingot, huh? Okay, let's go load up our items. So yeah, I need to decide. Let's work on figuring out the process for this refining step, right? So grinder, purifier, and furnace. I'm gonna color code these. All right, ads are over. My bad. Well, it's not my bad. I can't do anything about it. My apologies. Okay. So yeah, your prototype. So the way I see it is that, like, right now it's just sort of a tech demo, I would say, right? Like, it's showing off the terrain generation and stuff like that, which is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I do see a lot of potential in, like, the next iteration of that on how it could be way more fun and way more involved with the gameplay. Because right now, you know, if you want me to be completely honest and cynical, you just walk, right? And that's the gameplay right now. And there's nothing wrong with that. There just needs to be something to complement the walking. Like, there has to be another layer to it. Because walking, you don't want to be labeled as a walking simulator. So I think, like, for your game, what would be a really good thing is, okay, you have this cool environment set up, right? You have this, like, generating terrain, and I like the concept that you have where you're like onto this elevator thing, right? Or you like drop deeper down into the mines. So I think there needs to be, I like the goal of like retrieval, right? So somewhere in here, there's the little fuel cell thing. That can definitely work, but there just has to be something. So like, here's what you've got, right? You've got a mechanic there, and you've got a mechanic there, but there's no mechanic in between, right? And that's why it might feel a little empty. So this back and forth is good. I like this, like movement, you know? I like how it's like the player has a goal to do in here. You have a really solid goal set in place. Your goal is find the item, bring it back. So I think you just need stuff in between, and that's really what's gonna sell the idea. So there could be a whole bunch of things you could do. I think one immediate thing that would be really good for this that I think would be fun are enemies in combat, right? So I like the darkness, and I think you could have some really interesting creatures that you could find in here, you know? Yeah, like sprinting. I almost see this as like a stealth kind of thing, because I like how these like are kind of smaller blocks, and they could like block off these guys' view, right? So this would be like their view. It like gets blocked off here, right? And so you could go undetected if the player stays behind this region. I think that could be a really fun mechanic, because it means that it's not just a matter of just kind of blindly going from this point and then going back. You have to be more strategic about it. It's like a survival horror type of thing where it's like you have to avoid the enemies or fight them. So one part of it could be like sub things to find. So obviously this is the main goal, right? And this is what you ultimately want to get. But I think it could also be really fun if there's like other items that you can find around to kind of encourage exploring the whole region. So maybe there's like little loot crates that you can find, right? Maybe kind of like a gun box, you know what I'm talking about? Something like that. It looks like a weird brick or something. And maybe those have different weapons, yeah, like items, or it could just be money, and maybe there's like a shop. Once you get back here, like in between levels, it opens up a shop screen. So it's this kind of, then you have this kind of dynamic. It just makes the gameplay loop much more interesting. So like, here's the player, and here's your goal, right? So in between here, you have like, there's good things and bad things. I think it's always good to have a mix of both, right? It's a risk-reward type situation. So you have the enemies that you have to deal with, but you also can get loot. So then this is like the back and forth here, right? To just visualize this gameplay loop. So going there and back, you get both of these things. You get the chance of enemies popping up and the risk, and you get the reward of finding loot. And so loot helps deal with enemies. And getting this and going to the next level in an indirect way helps the enemies, because they get stronger as each level goes down, right? So I think that could be really fun if you implement that system, right? Obviously, this is just ideas. This isn't a, you know, ultimate, like, you should definitely do this, but just trying to throw out some possibilities for what you could do with this, because I think it's a really good template. I think using what you have is a good idea, right? You have this terrain, use it. Don't just make it an obstacle for the player, because that's not fun. I think it can be an obstacle, but it should also be like visual cover. It should be something beneficial, right? So like I was saying with the enemy, I think it would be really good if the walls blocked view. So if there's a wall in between you and the enemy, they don't see you. So you can sneak around and be strategic about where you're going. Like Metal Gear Solid, I think. I've never played Metal Gear Solid, but I think that's a stealth game. And there's actually a really easy way to do that in Godot because you can just use a shape cast. So it's super easy. Or honestly, you could do shape cast, or you could just do a line cast, honestly. What if you can call a loot crate in a certain location, but the calling is loud? Yeah, that could be interesting. Like, I like that idea, right? Of some kind of noise mechanic. I think could be really good. So, yeah, it could be like a thing, like calling in a loot crate. Or what it could be is, I have an idea for that. So, you could ping the location of this object, but it's really loud. It's like a sonar blast. So essentially you could have this kind of like thing that pops up on the screen. Maybe you don't tell the people the position of this. So you have like it's like a compass. So you have this in the center. And like this pops up on your screen when you ping it. And all it does is it just points in the direction of where your thing is. Right? Like that. Of where the item is. And then whenever you do this, it sends out like a sonic blast. It's really loud. And so it brings in all the enemies to your location. So I like this because it's another risk-reward type mechanic. You know, I think risk-reward is always the way to go with these mechanics. Of like making things be good and bad, because that encourages strategic thinking. So that's an idea. And you could also do like a crate drop system where it's like it pings a region around too. That could be fun also. So yeah, it just depends on like what you want to do, really. There's a lot of different ways you could go about this. And that's why I think this is a really great prototype, because I think there's so much that you could do with it. There's a lot of ideas that could be expanded upon. And I think that's exactly what a prototype should be, right? It's a template for a bigger and more complete idea. So, yeah, good work. I think it could be a really fun game. If you just kind of add in some more in-between mechanics like this, like enemies and stuff. And I think enemies really is going to be the way here. There needs to be something that actively seeks you out and is a constant and continuing threat. I mean, you could do something like traps and stuff if you really wanted to, but I think it's so much more interesting to have something dynamic, like an enemy that moves around and stuff, right? Prototypes and more prototypes a game, yeah. It's a continuing evolution of the prototype, yeah. So yeah, I don't know, I'd play with that idea, maybe. Definitely keep me up to date, because I would love to see, like, how it changes, right? I think that'd be really fun. So if you've got, another update to the demo, let me know. I wanna see it. So yeah. But I think it's a really good start. I think you can do all sorts of stuff with it, so definitely keep it up. I want to make it now. Yeah, just close the Twitch thing. Oh, we're good. I was supposed to stop my ADHD brain from making another project. Yeah, that's how it goes. Oh, we're getting errors. What happened? Oh, I just have to say if is instance valid. There we go. Hey Oscar, what's up? How's it going? You made this? Yeah, this is my game. Starground. Kind of just working away at some stuff right now. I'm gonna be adding in this new building. I think I already put it in here. Oh, I didn't. It's called the Purifier. It's basically, it's pretty straightforward. It's just it's gonna purify different materials you put into it. So, but yeah, what I was gonna do in here, I need to decide, yeah, like the steps for how I'm gonna process the materials we have. So we have two materials. We have cobalt and then we have uranium. So I need ways to process them into usable materials, right? So these are the different machines that we have that kind of want to integrate in some capacity. And these could be different. It's crazy. I don't know how you game devs do it. It's like magic. Try Godot and Unreal, etc. It's just beyond my capacity. I salute you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's hard. It's definitely not easy. All the people that I know that make games put so much time into it and so much effort, especially if you're a solo dev, because you have to do so many things. You have to do the programming and the art and the sounds and the music and the marketing, right? It's crazy. So, but yeah. I think the thing that always gets me through it is just that I really enjoy it. It's very fun seeing my ideas and the world come together and turn into this real, tangible thing. It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I can like show you really what this is. I mean, it's up on Steam. You can look at the trailer and stuff. I'm just working on the a new zone I'm adding for a new update. Yeah, it's just a combination of like factory building stuff and dungeoning. So I can mine these resources, get some materials, smelt it, craft it into things. I don't know why I'm getting crazy screen tearing. I don't know if you guys see that. Need to turn on VSync. Let's set it to adaptive. There we go. It's funny. I've never gotten screen tearing like that before. And yeah, there's the whole dungeoning part. I'm not going to go into that. So yeah, I'm working on this planet, Tyria. That's where the purifier is mainly going to be used. It's going to be used to process like this stuff into different materials. So we have cobalt over here, and that we're going to probably use to make the purifier. And then the purifier is going to convert uranium into uranium ore into pure uranium. Yeah, I'm getting some screen tearing. This is where the, you know, like horizontal lines, it's like the segments of the screen are offset temporally. It's hard to explain, I guess, but it's like one half of the screen is in the past and the other is in the present. But VSync fixes it. I don't like VSync most of the time, but I mean, because it makes your game slower, but I guess in some rare cases it might actually be useful. So yeah, anyways, the processing steps. Okay, so I think the purifier I want to use for uranium. Like, that's going to be a more advanced thing. So the final step for uranium, I think, will be the purifier. So honestly, what I'm thinking, I want to use the grinder for something. So I'm kind of thinking of needing to grind these materials into a powder first because they're like too hard to smelt, right? Like this setup. Right, so that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. So this means for cobalt, you throw it into the grinder first and turn it into a powder, and then you smelt it. Now, something fun that we could do here, though, is create an alloy. So, I could just do a regular old smelt, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but I think it could be interesting needing to have other materials, right? So there's a couple different high-strength alloys of cobalt, which we could take a look at. Meteoric iron. Goblin ore. That's what it means. That's freaking awesome. Yeah, that's the coolest name I've ever heard in my life, guys. Goblin ore. Come on. That's super awesome. Okay. Yeah, cobalite. So what's like the strongest cobalt alloy? That's pure cobalt. It's just kind of a shiny metal. I know it's not that strong by itself, but I know in a alloy it's pretty strong, I'm pretty sure. Isotopes. Strongest alloy. Nickel. But we don't have nickel. I don't know. I have to think about like how difficult is it going to be to get these materials, right? And do I want to immediately right off the bat import those materials? Because that might be kind of complicated. Well, I can think of a few buildings. I'll think of it in terms of that. So, buildings that are going to use the products of Cobalt, the purifier, and the, like, rocket supply. The thing that sends materials between the planets. So, I don't know if I necessarily want Cobalt to be made with stuff on other planets, because I think that gets complicated. Right? It's hard to say. But I also don't want it to be, like, too easy to get Cobalt, because it is a more advanced resource, so I want people to spend time to make it. Right? So, it's hard to say, right? I don't know. If we did a cobalt alloy, I guess it would be much later on. Uranium's locked behind cobalt, so that's good. I mean, maybe the way in which you make the cobalt alloy is with merging it with a gem. But then we need the purifier for that. So that's the issue, right? Is that we can't get the purifier to make the cobalt alloy without the cobalt. Unless we make the purifier not take cobalt, but then that means uranium's kind of a really easy resource. I want uranium to be more complicated to refine and stuff like that, right? So it's hard to say. I don't know. I'm open to ideas if anyone has any thoughts on that stuff, right? This is why automation stuff and like production pipelines can be so complicated, right? Like, how do you make stuff fun and how do you make it balanced? People always hate on the people that balance stuff because it's like, you know, too easy or too hard, but it's hard, man. It's hard to balance stuff properly. It takes a lot of time and thought. Yeah, non-pure cobalt ingots, so it's like... Interesting. We could have another alloy, maybe. Yeah. Well, okay, here's an idea. So maybe we get two new metals out of this. So we get our cobalt ingot like this. But maybe we can do a some kind of like depleted uranium cobalt alloy. Obviously, I don't know if that would really work in the real world, but you know, I think it'd be okay. So it'd be this really interesting color because it'd be like a mix of green and blue. So it'd be like a teal ingot, right? Be kind of greenish like that, I guess, right? So we'd refine cobalt into our ingot, and that lets us build the purifier, which makes our uranium, and then some process to make depleted uranium. And then we can combine all that into a process to make our combined high-strength alloy. And that's going to be like maybe the stuff that we use for like this, you know, the big industrial things. Like the resource launcher and all that business, right? So I don't know. What are the thoughts on that? I think that could be a fun process. And then I don't know how we would get depleted uranium. I guess we would do like... I don't know. You know, another thing, too, that we have to remember with the rockets, we can import stuff by hand initially. Right, so maybe it does take something from the other place. Like maybe something integrates copper, right? And you just have to bring over a little bit by hand to just make enough to build the automatic one, and then you can import it from Viridian. So, yeah, things start to really twist together and get complicated, don't they? But I like that because it means that people have to think, and as hard as it is for me to create the systems, it'll be an interesting challenge for people to automate them also, right? So I don't know, I like that idea. We could do something like that maybe where it's like, yeah, like could be fun, could be interesting, but yeah. Unfortunately, I do have to end stream right now. I know I did start later. I said in chat, but I don't think I said on stream. I was having a lot of issues with camera stuff. I kept trying to open NVIDIA Broadcast, but it like wouldn't open. It would just sit there and stall. It was a nightmare. I had to restart my computer and stuff, so yeah, it was sorry for the delay initially today. So hey, thank you for the follow, I appreciate it. So yeah, that's why we're like an hour late, because I couldn't get my camera to work. But we're fine now. But you hate thinking? I'm sorry, it's an automation game. We have to think in one way or another. Why am I still semi-transparent? I mean, you see that, right? Like, I'm like a phantom. I'm like not really fully here. So weird. Alright. Well, that's going to be it for today's stream. I appreciate everybody for coming in. I really appreciate the raid from Otter. Go give them a follow if you haven't already. And yeah, new stuff is on its way. We finally got over the hurdle of the inventory stuff. It was a massive like roadblock in my head, just trying to like... It's really the thing that was stopping us from branching out and doing everything. So now progress should start getting a bit faster. So, yeah. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you everybody for coming. I appreciate it. Let's go look for somebody to raid really quick. This update will be out December 9th, so it's coming up. I gotta hurry up, you know, and get things going. But yeah. Adagon's working on school. Imagine being in school. Not me anymore. Thank God. Oh, that's slime time. JD's streaming. He's working on overlay stuff. Looks like he's integrating OBS. Let's raid Adagon. I'm down to clown with some school. Imagine. Dude, I'm so glad I don't have school anymore. You really don't appreciate it right off the bat because it still feels like summer vacation. But then like Christmas rolls around and spring and fall and it's like, what? I don't have to... I can appreciate the season and I don't have to focus on school every second of my existence. It's kind of nice, I'm not gonna lie. Oh god, why is Chrome dying now? Just let me raid out before everything dies, please. Okay. So yeah, let's go raid Adagon, watch some school happen. Yeah, I'm so glad that I'm done with school, man. I don't know if I'll ever go back for a master's degree. I don't know if it's worth it, unless I wanted to go into like a research position or something, but I think I'm more of a businessman than a research man, if you know what I mean. I'd rather focus on the finances than the science, I guess. Obviously, the science is really cool, and I do like science, but I don't like doing it. So I don't want to be like a computer science researcher. I feel like that would suck. Maybe one day in the future I'll do a master's degree. Who knows? But I like game development more, so. PhD. I thought about it, you know, in school. Like, I don't know. Should I? Is it worth it? You know, but it's so much work and so expensive too, man. Like PhD stuff, it stops like, okay, 50,000 for a bachelor's, doable, But PhD stuff is way more than that, and it's like, oh my god. I don't know. That's expensive. That's like, if I lived somewhere where it was free, maybe. But I don't know. Alright. Well, let's go raid Adagon. Thank you everybody for coming. Starground's out on Steam in early access, so feel free to pick it up. And be on the lookout for the update December 9th. And yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll be next live Friday. Have a happy Thanksgiving if you're in the US. That's tomorrow. That should be fun. And yeah, it's gonna be it. Thank you everybody for coming. I appreciate it. Over to Adagon. Bye-bye. Goodbye, everybody. Be wise.